SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
The Common Collector is the premier local sports cards and memorabilia destination in Northeast Mississippi, where there's something special for everyone. Visit the Common Collector at 704 Cruz Street in Corinth, open Wednesday to Saturday.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right. Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Straight out of 7th year to 8th year. This is the beginning of my 8th year doing this. This has been wonderful. Really appreciate my pals over there at SuperTalk and the team for allowing me to run my mouth for that long and share my so many wonderful friends and their stories. Today is special as always. She's a tri-peat, which is a word I think I just invented as a songwriter. But stand by. My folks over there in Macon, Mississippi, Superior Catfish, they do it right. There's catfish. There's Superior Catfish. Go to superiorcatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. We're celebrating the arts, illustrations, paintings, anything to do with a brush, stroke. Incredible artists today. So go to visit Mississippi.org and celebrate your Mississippi. Like I said, she's been on a few times, but it's time to roll again. She's an American author, illustrator of picture books. She came on the scene with her debut works, Puzzle by Pink, followed it up with Paint Me and Dress Me, two more wonderful books kids from all over this land have been able to enjoy and partake and grow up with. As a painter, vivid colors are the trademarks of her works. They've been exhibited in numerous galleries throughout the Southeast as well, including an exhibition at the gallery in Soho, New York. Her work attracts numerous big-name buyers. Steve Wynn, big old admirer. He bought many of her paintings for his resort in Biloxi, Mississippi. If you are an avid listener, thank you very much, by the way, then you know how grateful and humbled I am to have written our official state song. There's nothing I'm more appreciative of in my career. And teaming up with today's guest, along with Neil White at Nautilus Publishing for our One Mississippi Children's book, well, that's been the cherry on top for sure of my career. We've been visiting schools a lot of times since then, running around the state, sometimes together, sometimes not. We may be on our own, but the kids are singing basically every word to One Mississippi, if not every word. Sarah Francis going through the book, talking about the creations of her illustrations and going through the teacher's guide with the faculty and the students has been invigorating every time, to say the least. Tomorrow we'll be in Starkville and Columbus schools. Looking forward to road tripping there. So let's get to it right now with award-winning Mississippi gem of an illustrator and painter, Sarah Francis Hardy. Hello.
Hi there.
What's up?
Thank you.
Welcome to 2025.
Oh, wow. It's 2025.
Yeah, I'm throwing things off here a little bit. We're doing the visit in Starkville and Columbus. Sorry, guys, in 24, right before 25. But this show, it's taped. And so we'll just, be truthful about that.
Well, but what a year it's been, right?
It's been awesome. It's been so good. It's just been a great journey. We've had such a great time together, and we are blessed for sure every time we walk. So, for instance, for you, the feeling you get when you created these 7 wonderful kids in the book, and you're getting to talk about the inspiration behind. It's like writing 7 different songs to me in one book, and the detail, just watching the kids' eyes just glued to you while you're telling that story, but behind all these characters, and also going through the history of Mississippi and how it's turned into this curriculum, teacher's guide. What's it feel like to you?
It is indescribable. You know, we know, and when you wrote the song, that was one of the things that you said you wanted it to be about the kids, right? And you wanted kids to be singing it. And with children's books, that's what you want. You want to connect with kids, and you want them to be in the story. You want them to see themselves in the story, and you want an interaction. Like a children's book and a song, that is not something passive that kids are just, you know, like watching a TV show. They're interacting. They're singing the words. They're learning about our state. They're looking at all these places and people and famous Mississippians, and also realizing that, you know, these are people just like them, all these musicians and writers and people we've had come out of our state and artists, and just to see that they were children in Mississippi at one time too is pretty exciting.
Well, I can tell you, when you and I have been blessed to be nominated for awards along the way, and the only problem with me, I've got more golf trophies than I do music awards, which is not good. It's not good. That's just not good. Not to make a living. So this year we've been blessed to be up a record for a Grammy, and that means so much to me, but that does not mean anything compared to this. I mean, it's just another level of, but all these things in my life and your life too have to happen to be able to get to this point. Also growing up in Mississippi, it's almost like every time you're going through this with the kids, tomorrow I will hear you say something that didn't register with me, and I'll go, that happened here? You know, so I'm constantly learning every time you're doing this with the kids. It's just a thrill, and I'll come back home and Gwen will go, okay, what happened now? And she'll just look at me, my eyes are lit up, and I go, I'm still buzzing.
It is. And it's immediate. You know, I think that's part of it. You know, you send your song out into the world, you send your book out into the world, and you don't get that feedback that we're getting, seeing the kids holding the book in their hand and getting excited and singing the song. And it's just an immediate one-on-one relationship that we have, that we're all sharing, and we're sharing the excitement with the kids. And
well, with me, I've always had that satisfaction. You know, you write a song, you record it, and you go, but it's so different because you're different. You're talking about a different demographic, you know, a different age group, you know, to see that enthusiasm. And also it's only the big hits that people know the words to. So this makes me feel like I have another big hit, you know, and I did it from Mississippi. No, I just think it's just so amazing. We're not trying to be self-deprivating today. We're trying to explain the fact of how you and I are moved every time we get to do this. It's just so special. I mean, it's really one of those things that you were called back home. Back up for a second. Your college days, you go and you become an attorney, right?
Yeah. So I went to undergrad at Davidson in North Carolina, and then I did art studies at Parsons in New York and Paris. And I came back and went to Ole Miss Law School and met my husband. He's not an attorney, but we met when I was here in law school and stayed. And, you know, I'll be honest, when I went off to school in North Carolina, I was gone. You know, I thought, okay, I'm going to be out there somewhere, be in New York or whatever. And, coming back to Mississippi is really one of the best things I've ever done. Just the appreciation of the arts, the culture that's here, the people. It's the people really that makes Mississippi a special place. And, you know, and I've shown in New York, but I was a Mississippi artist showing in New York and showing around the Southeast. So it's a great place to be. And I think you know, of course, nationally we get a bad rap, and I hate that for the kids of Mississippi to hear that. And so with what you've done with your song and what we've done together with the book is to paint a picture of Mississippi that is rich and it's cultured and it's all of the things that make this place so great. So I love being able to put that out there. I really do.
the only way we get a bad rap are for people that have never been here.
Exactly.
When people come here, they go, "Are you kidding me?"
Right.
And we can't get them to leave, which is kind of good. So maybe we'll take a little bit of the bad rap, so not everybody will come, and we'll just keep the people we want, which we want everybody to come visit. I'm messing around. Let's take a quick break. Speaking of visiting, visit Mississippi.org. Wants to hear we want everybody to give Mississippi a shot. Also, SuperiorCatfish.com. I'm telling you right now, we're going to be right there. Sarah Francis is about 30 minutes away from Hell State and Columbus over there. Macon's over in that area where they produce the wonderful Superior Catfish. So I'll be thinking about them on my road trip. I may just stop in and get them to cook me some. You never know. We'll be right back. I'm with Sarah Francis Hardy. Don't go nowhere.
Anywhere and everywhere you go. All the warmth you bring to this cold heart with the slightest touch is enough to know. Baby, you're my sunshine. Everybody needs a little sunshine. Yeah, you're my sunshine. 'Cause like the dawn, you push it all the way.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
Be sure to...
We're rocking a Mississippi Minute. I'm Steve Azar. Thank you for tuning in. I've got the wonderful, talented, incredible artist, true gem of Mississippi, Sarah Francis Hardy, on with me today. We're glad that she made it back to Mississippi and decided not to practice law somewhere in like Timbuktu, California, or New York, or wherever, you know, and that she chose the arts, because we have to have our true artists in Mississippi doing what they do and what they were born to do and what they were passionate about as kids, and getting to make a living out of it is better for us all. And it carries on our incredible tradition. Superior Catfish carries on a tradition. You can go to store.superiorcatfish.com, and Sarah Francis, you can have it delivered to your house, just FYI, nice. And so can everybody else. And visit Mississippi.org. I love talking painting and what you do in the whole world of your art world, and how important that is for Visit Mississippi. So let's go back. So you go to Davidson. Is there a particular reason, Davidson?
I loved North Carolina. I went to camp in North Carolina. My stepfather actually went to Davidson, which was how I found about it. But I wanted a small liberal arts school, and I visited and fell in love and just loved it. I loved it.
Steph Curry there when you were there?
No, he's a little younger. He's a little younger than I am, but he has brought some notoriety to Davidson, which is fun, which is really fun.
First time I ever saw him play, you see him in like the NCAA tournament, because you're not getting them on TV in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I remember going like, what is this?
Exactly.
I said, is there any chance he's kin to Del Curry? And then he was. And I'm going like, how you think about Duke and North Carolina and you know, sitting there right there, and NC State all in that little bottleneck right there. And they don't see him as this great player of the future. And how did they let him slide, especially with his pedigree, where he comes from? You know, It's just amazing that you can be that great and prolific and a game changer for the game in basketball. He's changed the way kids grow up learning how to play the game. You know, if you can do what he does and turn 2 points into 3 as easy as he does, it's just the NBA has been, college basketball and the NBA has been reshaped because of him, like Jordan did, you know, and like Dr. J did, like so many greats that have come along the way. But pretty cool. I know that's been a big deal for y'all's school. So you're practicing law for how long? And then what got you to say, you know what? I really want to be doing this for a living. I want to be working on my art.
Well, I going to law school at Ole Miss was, and I get it as a parent. My dad was worried about, his art major daughter being able to make a living. And he said, listen, if you'll, go to Ole Miss Law School, you can do whatever you want. You can pay your bills always for the rest of your life. And so I did. I loved law school. I really did. It was fine. I did not love practicing law, but the whole time. So in law school, I rented a pretty gross 2-bedroom apartment so I could have an art studio. And so I painted all through law school. I sold paintings all through law school. I sold stuff through the Mississippi Museum of Art, had a corporate art program they would sell to businesses around the state. I wish they still did that. It was a great program. And you had shows and stuff. So I never let it go, ever. And then when I practiced law, not very long, less than a year. And I was also trying to paint, and, I had just gotten married, and I never saw my husband, John, because, I was at the law firm all day. Then I went to my art studio. So, luckily, he was paying our house note and said, all right, you need to let the art thing, you need to let that win. And that's where your heart is. And so I've worked hard. It's tough, but, was showing a lot, and, signed with the gallery in New York, and was selling paintings. Like you mentioned, Steve Wynn hired me to do a bunch of work for the Beau Rivage. And so my fine art is there. And I've let that slide a little bit with the children's books, which has also, when I had children, that's where my head was. So I switched to doing a lot of illustration work. And I don't know if you can see, if you're on the radio, you can't, but I'm in my new studio. We have just built new studio space. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into doing some more painting, and in addition to the children's illustrations.
I don't ever remember seeing those stairs right there, the steps that look a little dangerous, by the way. They look a little steep.
They are. It's a sleeping loft up here.
Okay, you're up, not down. Okay, all right.
Yes. Yeah. And they're pretty steep, but they've got a good handrail and a grab bar, and they're for kids, younger people, to get up there and sleep. But we've got a couple of beds up there so that, if needed, we can put some people in here.
That's it. For me, when we were in our first house in Nashville, and I'd come off a really bad independent record deal, and I was stymied, I decided to go up and build an entire upstairs. We had so much room, probably had an extra close to a couple 1,000 square feet up there. But
wow.
We went up there, me and a songwriter buddy of mine. And then I had Larry Stewart of Restless Heart painting. I mean, we built an entire upstairs, and I added an office area, a play loft area, a bathroom, another play area in my studio. And if I don't do that, I'm not re-inspired and reinvigorated. Yeah. If we don't do that, then I never write Waiting on Joe. I don't do these things because it made me go up there and be alone and with my recording gear, which I barely could run. And it just inspired me to work because it was a new space, And it's like when I go, I'm so inspired when I go to different venues. If I see at sound check, it's for me at sound check. I've written more songs that have counted for me at sound check or gotten them started in venues and coliseums and arenas, wherever there are theaters. It's always new to me, and I'm always inspired to just start running my mouth and just creating melody and words and without really any inspiration in front of me. I just sort of let myself go, and that's been the place, something new and fresh. So for you, have you already been inspired enough to see what's going on and that there's some keepers going that you've got you're working on?
Yes, I've done a little bit of painting in the year, and we're still getting moved in, but I'm really, especially 2025, I'm really ready to go. I've got a bunch of canvases back here primed. My old studio was tiny and dark, and so to have space and light and all that is, yes.
It's a total new addition?
Say it's inspiring. Yeah, it's what?
Is it a total new addition?
We have done a cabin out at a lake that's just outside of Oxford. So this is a separate little structure, that's off by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my old space at our house, at our home is, I mean, it was about, 120 square feet. It was tiny. I'd just go outside to paint just in the backyard with big stuff. So this will be a game changer, I think. And you're right. There is something about the space you're in that is inspiring and shifting your perspective a little bit. And, there's a lot to that. And that's what I tell people too, a lot of times as a creative person, you have a day job or whatever, and until you're trying to make it and trying to get things done. But I always tell people, just keep even if it's a closet, keep a dedicated space for whatever you're doing creatively, and protect it with everything you have.
Yeah.
Once that physical space is gone, it's hard. It's hard to get it back.
Yeah. I mean, when I moved here in Greenville and set this studio up, a lot of the gear I record on has to be upgraded, but pretty much the same stuff. Same microphone I've been using since my I Don't Have to Be Meet on Monday record. That's the guy I always use when I'm in my studio. And I'm telling you, I'm very novice when it comes to what I need to be doing in here. But I've got a great mix engineer and a guy I turned over the files to that is a game changer. And I only want to know so much, and I'm only capable of knowing so much. Let's take a quick break. What's not capable is if you're not going to be capable to have the best catfish if you don't go to SuperiorCatfish.com. How'd you like that segue? Pretty good? Pretty smooth, Sarah Francis? Thank you. They're great folks over there. Please go to SuperiorCatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip. Just go to Jackson, your grandfather's pharmacy that's in the book.
Yeah, Brent's drugstore, yeah.
Right there. Go visit right there in Fondren District. I'm Steve Azar with Sarah Francis Hardy. Don't go nowhere.
That's right. $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Sarah Francis Hardy is rocking with me today. Tremendous artist, painter, illustrator. Won a bunch of awards already. Has a new space that she can create, so that's good for us all and good for children around the planet. Hey, Sarah Francis. Oh, before we get to you, Sarah Francis, Superior Catfish. It's homegrown in Mississippi. Now, I know you live in Oxford and you are hotty-toddy, but right over there by Hell State is where they are producing some fantastic catfish. Go to store.superiorcatfish and they'll deliver it from the Hell State area to the hotty-toddy area. How you like that?
There you go.
Yeah, and visit Mississippi.org. As you and I both know, any chance they get to celebrate the arts like they do, plan a road trip, rediscover Mississippi, fall in love with us all over again. Be proud of your Mississippi. I know Sarah Francis and I are greatly appreciative, for sure, of growing up here and being totally inspired to do what we're doing for a living, for our career. And I feel like we're getting away with something, because I wish everyone could get to live out their passion work in life. And I know that so many people have obligations that come up that just don't allow them to. And I don't know how I became one of the lucky ones to get to do it. It's not been the smoothest ride by all means, but I'll take every pothole, every gravel road, every ditch I've run into. I'll take it over and over because the result of the wins when you get them it's just, I wish people could feel like I do and like you do, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yes.
So when you create your art and you know that that's it, like for me with the songs and stuff, Sarah Francis, I've gotten a lot better as I've gotten more mature with my writing, I guess, or I didn't want to use the word older because that's what I meant. But as I've done this a long time, I can let things go quicker because I feel like, not because I'm lazy, because I've gotten a little bit more wise with what I'm chasing and what needs to be, put on record, or every if, and but, every comma and all that, they all matter to me. But for you, when do you know when it's done?
Yeah, knowing when to stop is the hardest thing. And with artwork and even writing children's books and stuff, that knowing where to start, where to stop is really hard. And I cannot tell you how many times I have overworked a painting, or it'll be behind me and it's done, and I think, just that one little bit of yellow is just sticking out too much. And once you get up in there, it creates a whole new thing, and you get in the weeds. So, I do think with, as you say, maturity, I have learned about the pause, to not be in such a hurry. When I think something's finished, walk away and give it a minute, let it breathe, and then come back. And that's been something I've learned as I've matured, that pause, and the pause can be just start working on something else for a minute, and just don't look at it. I've even, I've had something on the easel behind me and just put a towel over it so I can't see it, because I'm going to sit there and just stare at it and work it to death. And
I'm trying to understand how your mind works when you're trying to visually show something as an illustration or a painting versus when I'm trying to do it via lyrics and the melody, which to me all comes together. But in my mind, what you do is impossible for me to grasp. It's impossible. I'm just really bad at drawing things, So how do you go about it?
Well, illustration. Well, no, it's a great question because illustration and fine art are so stinking different. The illustration work, and I hate to use the word confined because it's a positive confinement, but you're confined to the words, you're confined to the story that's written in the words. And you're, and I had those, like with One Mississippi, I had those characters and they all had to be the consistent same character throughout the book. And so it was more, I had more of a framework, I guess. And it was a very different process than doing a painting where the painting it's just a little more free. I'll do big landscapes and you're not, it doesn't matter if the tree doesn't look exactly like the tree out there that you're painting. You can use some creative license with it, and whatever, you're not telling a story, you're showing a feeling, or you're showing a mood, or you're showing a scene. And so it's a real different mental process. Now the end of the illustration, after I do a whole illustration and, get the characters right and the narrative, then I can look at the composition and color and all that kind of stuff. But, it's a different process, and I like both. I really like both.
Are you able to enjoy the end result like a consumer? So the difference is, for you, if you go look at fine art or go look at someone else's illustrations and all that, you're just looking at it as a fan or, as a viewer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you look at that and go, what all went into it? Or are you able to just sit back and go and admire it as one piece?
That's interesting. I had a kind of fun experience on Saturday. The Oxford had a tour of homes for a holiday tour of homes that benefited Doors of Hope charity. And I went into one of the houses and there was a really old painting of mine from probably 25 years ago on the wall, like over the bar, that I haven't seen in 25 years. And it was, you know, and immediately I didn't know it was going to be there. And I immediately recognized it as I have no memory of painting it. But I looked at it like you're saying, I kind of like, oh, yeah, you know, I like it.
Were you able to appreciate it?
I was able to appreciate
as a body of work?
Yeah, I really was. I really was. And so that was fun and unexpected. And, when I look at the children's book illustrations and when I look at One Mississippi, I do sometimes look at it and think, I can't believe I did all that.
Well, I can't believe it. I mean, like, it's not like you're creating one child. You created these incredible personalities built in. I see every kid and I know every kid in that book. I mean, it's almost like you know what they're like, right?
Right.
And that is, you gave them such an identity, each one of them. And that was the part that I just, as fast as you did it, because really in the scheme of things, I remember when you were talking about a timeline and I was going, what are you talking about? What are you, there's no way. I mean, like, oh, are you like the construction group that says, or the carpenters go, oh, we're going to come in and renovate. We're going to be out in, 2 months and it's 7 months later, but you actually did it. I mean, that's crazy.
We needed to do it.
Well, I know, but needing to do it and getting it right, sometimes they don't collide in a good way.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, it's amazing. I
did nothing else for several months.
I can't believe John even speaks to me. I can't. He's been so nice. I think looking back, the first time he met me, I think he gave me sort of an evil eye. Now I know why. No, you took my wife away for how long? No, he's been great. It's been great getting to know him as well. Let's take a quick break. We were the wonderful, talented Mississippi artist, happens to be, globally renowned, North America renowned, but she's ours. She's a Mississippian. Two things about Mississippi. We have great catfish. In fact, why would you get it anywhere else in the world? Go to superiorcatfish.com. There's catfish. There's superior catfish. And visit Mississippi.org. A lot going on in Oxford, Mississippi, I can tell you. Sarah Francis and I will be across the state in Starkville and Columbus tomorrow visiting wonderful children, doing what we do with the One Mississippi Children's Book and the song, and we get to be moved all over again and are so grateful and blessed to be here in Mississippi that has given us the opportunity. Thank you all for listening. Don't go nowhere. I'm Steve Azar. We'll be right back.
Skating stone walls, sailing waterfalls. Maybe I might make it all the way. Someday I'll be free. Somewhere in this loneliness, I'll find me. I'll find me. I'll find. There ain't no streets to
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
flying down that levee road, trying to see how fast you go. I got my baby along for the ride. It's forever far as I can see. At least that's what I want to believe, girl. As the sun sets in your eyes. Well,
we got a little wee segment, short segment left. Superior Catfish, there ain't nothing short about that. If you don't, reach out to store.superiorcatfish.com or go to superiorcatfish.com. There's catfish. There's Superior Catfish. Do the math. I just did it. And that's about as much math as I can do. Visit Mississippi.org. Just so many glorious places that celebrate Mississippi. You just please go to the website, follow the country music trail markers, the blues trail markers, the writers trail, the freedom trail. Mississippi really has stepped up with that, and it is attracting people from all over the world, I can tell you. Do that, please. Sarah Francis, we're working on, not we, I wish I was, we as in you. What's this word novel? You're talking about two different ones, sending them out, middle grade novel. Explain to me what that is and how far into the process are you?
I have two middle grade novels I'm working on. So middle grade, there are classifications of children's books, picture books, chapter books, middle grade, young adults. So middle grade books are kind of 4th through 6th graders. It's the books like Charlotte's Web. It's that age group.
Wow.
So I've got two that I've written and I've been revising with some different people and just sending them out into the world. It's, as you know, it's tough out there when you're trying to send your work out, and I'm trying to send these to, New York publishers and stuff. Unfortunately, it's not the kind of book that Neil publishes. So, I'm sending out to different people and doing revisions. So we shall see.
So so why are there two? Are there volume 1 and volume 2?
No, it's two completely different stories. I wrote one first and then I started on the next one and was getting some feedback on the first one. And,
you did both of these simultaneously?
Yes.
Wow.
They're very different. They both take place in Mississippi. They're not necessarily Mississippi stories as such, but the setting is Mississippi. And, one skews a little younger. They are both illustrated, not illustrated at the level of a picture book, but they both have some line drawings and things in them. So,
when did you get all into sort of your target audience when it comes to the youth?
I honestly, if you had asked me when I was 8 years old what I wanted to do, this is what I would have said. I would have said, I want to be an artist and I want to write and illustrate children's books. Wow. And, I had a wonderful, I think I've maybe said this the last time I was on your podcast, but it bears repeating. I had a great 3rd grade teacher, Miss Evelyn Carter, and she really nurtured my creativity, and she had me write poems and write stories, and then she would hand it back to me and say, now draw it over and over and over again. And it really made me believe that it was something I could do. And all you teachers out there, what you do is incredible. And the things you say to children to encourage them, those things stick. And, she really planted that seed, that it was something I could do.
That is just really interesting. For me, I have two inspirations. One was, I think you are wrong. And then one was, are you kidding me? Do you really think I could do this? The first version came at Lourdes when I grew up, and the 4 nuns there. I'm not going to name them, but I can name them. And they ended up being dear friends, later. But when you're young, you're very scared of that. And they were Irish nuns, so they were a little feisty. And so we would be singing, and one of my best friends I knew had really it just was awful, right? And so they would always think it was me. Oh. And so they would make me stop singing. And so, especially my 3rd grade nun, and I was like, I don't think it's me. I think I can sing. And so then I would mouth it, right? And I just tried that one day, and I was next to my buddy, and they go, Steve, you got to quit singing in front of the whole class. and so then in 7th grade, I had this one guy show up. He was in seminarian, and he goes, Steve, I love your songs. I want you to start leading the kids mass at St. Joe at 11:30, and then I want you to play one of your songs you're writing from after communion. So the nuns used to come up to me afterwards, each one of them, and go, it's a miracle.
Oh,
you are the worst ever. And I still didn't have the guts to tell them. I didn't have the guts to tell them that it wasn't me, it was them. But anyway, it was so funny. All right, we're going to be praying for your novels to get published and the whole world gets to partake. And I'll see you in Starkville and Columbus tomorrow. Travel safe. And Sarah Frances Hardy, everybody. Thank you, Sarah Frances.
Thank you.
Superior Catfish is thanking Sarah Frances as well. She allows me to interview great folks around our state, around our country, and around the globe, sharing her wonderful story like so many on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time. SuperiorCatfish.com, folks. Check it out. Great folks over there in Macon, Mississippi. It's produced, The Catfish, right here in Mississippi. And visit Mississippi.org. Plan a road trip. Be proud of your Mississippi. I'm Steve Azar.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.